Hi again, here I am again. I lost count. I don't know which video this is, but I'm gonna talk this hour about my life coaching for writers because for this week I'm offering a 50% discount on all my sessions booked before the 25th of March. And when I say booked before the 25th of March, what I mean is as long as you book the session, so schedule it with me before the 25th of March, it doesn't matter when the session actually takes place, but you get the 50% discount. So if you don't have time this week or next week or the week after, but you want to schedule it for, I don't know, the first week of April, the second week of April, that's all fine. We can schedule it whenever you want. We can schedule as many sessions as you want. You get a discount on all of them as long as you book them before the 25th of March. So that's what the discount is about. So what do I do as a coach, as a writing coach, and sort of like a life coach for writers. What I do, it very much depends on what my clients need. Like I've had clients who just got stuck in a plot. They didn't know what to do, so they booked a session. We talked for an hour and they just used me as a sounding board, and I gave them ideas. I helped them unravel some questions that they had, asked them the right questions about why this was working, why this wouldn't be working. Those sessions are often very fruitful, and often after a session, they can move on, they can finish the book, they're fine. I have clients who just don't know why they're writing anymore, they just get stuck, or they don't know why they cannot just seem to prioritize their writing. So what is keeping them from putting themselves first, or their writing first? So I have it's like I said, every client that I have has different struggles, different desires, different needs, which makes the work very I love it. It's very diverse. Everybody has something else they need. I need to figure out how best to help them, and that for me, that is the great part. It's like it's a challenge every time, but it's fun, and it's great to see. It's such a rewarding, like it's one of the most rewarding of all the things I offer. The coaching is the most rewarding, I would say. Just like getting people in. Sometimes they're completely lost. They don't know what to do anymore, and then sometimes after just the one session, sometimes after two, maybe three, and they're just, you see such a switch, and that is for me. I mean, like I said, that is the most rewarding part of the job. So I'm offering a 50% discount on how many sessions. It doesn't matter how many sessions you schedule, as long as you schedule them before the 25th. And actually, I asked one of my clients to join me today because I think for a lot of people, it's a little vague what a writing coach can do. Like, is it, first of all, is it worth the money? What does it do? Finding the right writing coach, like there's so many coaches out there. Same with editors. Like you have to find someone who is really, who gets you, who works, like who understands how you function. Some people need to be handled with gloves. Some people need a more firm approach. So you really need to find, the same as when you go find a psychologist or a life coach. Like you need to find the right fit. So I invited one of my clients on today to ask her a little bit about, okay, so what made her decide to hire a coach? What made her decide to hire me? And also, what was her experience? Like, how did she experience that? So I see she's online now. So let's see if she can come online. It says adding. Yes. Hi, Amy.
Hello, how
Hello.
are you?
I'm good. Oh, your sound is very, like, you sound very, like, I hardly hear you.
Oh, okay. I probably because I'm using this pillow. Does it sound better now?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay,
Okay.
good.
Okay. I didn't know where the microphone was. So I'm like, this is a soft pillow. It will be useful to hold it up. And it's like, no.
No, no, this is much better. This is much better. So, like I
Okay,
said,
good, 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 good.
yeah, so it's very often like people ask me, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, that
Mhm.
very much depends on who comes. like who ends up like in my, I was gonna say in my office, but of course, like most people I work with, we work through Zoom, because you are
Mhm.
nowhere near where I am at the moment. In the country, I have no clients in Cyprus at all. So now I do all my work
Oh yeah.
through video. Um,
Yeah. It's very
so yeah, so
convenient.
it's very difficult to explain because everybody needs something else. So that's why I was like,
Mhm.
Amy, do you mind coming live? And it's also your birthday, so that's even
It
more
is my
special.
birthday.
So happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank
So that's even,
you.
it feels even more special that you wanted to make the time to do this. Because I just wanted to provide an example of a
Mm.
struggle and how like doing a session with me helped you with that struggle. So could you tell us a little bit about why you decided, because you were quite stuck, so could you
Yeah.
explain why you decided to like this? I'm like, I need to get out of this, and I think I need a coach for this because I can't do it by myself.
Hmm. Well, I was just, I think you hear all this stuff that like I have 8 books out, and as someone with 8 books out, there's this certain expectation about what you have and what you're supposed to be doing, and like how much income you're supposed to be getting. Especially in like the indie scene, there's this whole like 20 books to 50K group, and I actually like did the math, and I'm like, well, if I have 8 books out, you know, and I figured
Mm-hmm.
out how much that was supposed to be. And I just feel like there's a lot of advice out there for different people. And I figure you hear they always have people who come on who's like, oh, this is someone who did this awesome thing. And you're like, oh, well, if all these other people are doing these awesome things using these steps, and then for the longest time, I'm like, well, I'm going to do those steps and I'll get the same results, which was not happening, which is probably like 98% of people, that's what happens with them.
Yeah, but
But
they
for
don't
me, I was
tell that.
just,
Yeah, those
yeah,
people
they
don't
don't
share
tell you
their
that.
successes. Yeah, no.
Yes, the people who are like, I'm doing this and it's not working, they're just going to be like, well, I must be doing something wrong. And that was
Yeah.
kind of in my head what I was doing. And I had, I write in a really niche genre. I tell people I write Japanese influenced gay fiction, which is just this tiny, tiny little little niche, but that's where like my heart is at. That's what I like to write the most. And um, at the time, I was just like, well, maybe if I want to be the full time author I want to be, I should write something else instead. But then I don't want to write the other stuff instead. And I was just at a very like, I don't know what to do. I'm having all these like doubts. Like, should I even like bother trying to be full time doing this, um, going this way? Like, should I just like not even think about that anymore and just you know fade away kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a coach because I'm like, I could probably, I'm listening to these things and you just kind of made like a clear path. Like before I found you, I was listening to somebody else and I had like that consultation with her and I'm like, yeah, I wrote 8 books and I'm feeling like this. And she was just like, what do you mean you wrote 8 books? None of my clients haven't wrote one book. So it was amazing to get you because you knew you could beat the spectrum of everybody that was there. Like this other coach never had someone who wrote 8 books and was just like, well, I just feel shitty. And they're like, why do you feel like this? You should be amazed. I'm like, well, because of XXX
Yeah.
reason, I feel that way.
But
So
but
for
you,
you, it was
that's the
so,
thing. Like you have different goals, right? Like you,
yeah.
that's the thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
wherever people are on the path, that's where you help them. You don't go
Yeah.
like, well, you don't have anything to complain about. You wrote eight
Yeah,
books.
you
Why are you
shouldn't be
even
complaining
here?
about because
Yeah,
you,
you should be
yeah.
happy. Yeah. No, no, because you
Yes.
were unhappy. So, my job
Mhm.
was to figure out what makes you unhappy then. Like, why isn't it working for you at the
Yeah.
moment? Yeah.
Yeah. And you just had like such like clear cut questions and I felt like, if I didn't have you, I would have spent probably like months or weeks or, just all this effort and all this time sitting there and debating about things and just going back and forth all the time. And I don't have that much time in my life. Does that make sense? And I think a coach just really helps you get to the heart of the issue quickly. So you can just not, you just get to it and you're like, okay, let's work on this really hard for, this 2 hours or however many times that people go with you. And then it's like, oh, this only took me like, an hour. And then you were awesome and gave me some worksheets afterwards that I filled out. So it was just like a 2 or 3 hour thing, but it was just so much uh like content and so much just knowing exactly what to ask
Hmm.
to get the results I needed. So that was really helpful.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad because that's the thing is like I know so many people who are like, I cannot afford a writing coach because like I don't know what's bothering me. So if I open that vault, what is coming out and how long am I going to be stuck with this person? And like, of course, of course I have people and issues go so deep that they cannot, like one session is not enough. Like sometimes, like, and
Mhm.
also like that would be very unfair to promise people you just need one session and then you're fixed. That's not how it goes. It very much depends on how deep the issue is. And I do have people that, like I said, like I also have a 3 month program. So people sign up for that because they feel like, yeah, I need someone to stay with me for a little longer so we really get to the root of this. But I've also people who signed up for one and are still with me because it turns out that their struggles just run so much deeper. Um, but yeah, it just goes to show like sometimes you just need, I think we had like 1.5 hour conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were
I,
just like,
you know,
yeah,
I
I'm
still
good. Yeah. Yeah. You just found
I
like
think
we've,
I just
yeah,
yeah, I needed like the permission. Does that make sense? I think like
I have
this
that a
is,
lot. Yeah.
yeah. And it was
Yeah.
just so helpful even that. And I knew that like I feel like I saved your link. So I'm like if I ever need help with someone, I just knew exactly who to go to. Like it just cuts the time. Like why should
Yeah.
I spend
Yeah.
weeks and weeks and weeks debating about this thing when I'm like I can just ask her and like in the long run it will save me money because I'm not, wasting writing time by debating about things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like I have a lot of people who tell me like the allowance thing comes up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I ask clients afterwards, like so okay, so what was like the biggest thing? And often you know what you want, but you just really need someone to say it's okay. It's okay to want what you
Mm-hmm.
want. And I don't know,
Yeah.
like I have the same, like that's the thing is like I have my own coaches. Like everybody, like I always think of The Sopranos, where it's very clear that like every therapist has their own therapist. Yeah, of course. Because yeah, we all need to grow. And so I have my own people and they give me the allowance, like, yeah, you can do this, you can do this. And I do the same with the people I help. But it comes up a lot that people know what they want and they know what they need, but you hear so many voices out there, especially in the indie publishing world, that it's nice to just have someone go, or nice, maybe vital even, to have someone go, okay, you don't have to listen to this. What is your inner
Mhm.
voice telling you? What do you need? That's one of the reasons why I gave you the worksheets. Yeah, and actually, it was
Yeah, I
actually,
remember.
yeah, I think it was because of the session I had with you that I decided to put them up for free on my website.
Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
asking because I know I have a high like compliance. So if I think this is the right thing to do, I'm just gonna do it. So that's why I was when I hear other people's voices and they're like, "This is the thing that you're supposed to do." I'm like, "Okay, well, this person says it," so I kind of
Hmm.
have a tendency to be like, "Well, then I need to do this." So I've been very much like, this is what I decide's right, so I'm just gonna do it, and that was not working anymore. So your worksheets are very good with like making sure like wait am I just doing this because someone told me to do this
Yeah.
or does this thing correlate with what I want and what I think.
Yeah.
So that was they're very grounding and you kind of like self-determining worksheets like this is
Yeah.
what I want and not what I'm listening to other people say they want me to do.
Yeah, it makes you sit still until you listen, like until you start hearing your own voice again. Yeah. But that's exactly because of the feedback you gave me. It was the reason why I decided I'm just going to put them on my website so everyone who signs up to my newsletter gets the worksheets, because it's such a useful, such a simple but such a useful tool. Thank you for this. I think that gives people a sense of like what I do, how I work, and what you can book a session for me if you have whatever kind of struggle you have. So
Oh
thank you
yeah,
for
and you
this.
were really
Yeah.
accommodating with like times and stuff since we live halfway across the world. It was really awesome.
Yes, I have it now. Like I shifted an hour, so now I have one client, and that's going to be a challenge. But we always meet at my 9 p.m., so that will now be at 10 p.m. So yeah, but that's the thing. Like you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible, and I don't mind doing that. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like I have people in Asia, I have people in Australia, I have people in the US, I have people in Canada. It's you just go with it. You go where you need it. Yeah. So thank you for this. I think this makes it much clearer for people what it is that I do, and what it's like to work with me. Because I think for a lot of people, it's still a little, it's a scary thing because it's a very vulnerable thing. Like hiring a coach is a very vulnerable thing because it's admitting you don't know what to do anymore. That's a very scary thing. Yeah, but like in your like as you can see in your case, it's also very like it just cuts straight through it and you can get back to work.
Yep.
So thank you and happy birthday again. Have a good day. I hope you're
Thank
gonna do
you.
something
Yeah.
fun and celebrate. And
Mostly I'm just
say
relaxing. So
okay and say hi to your lovely cat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Hey, thank you again.